This is Jarrod Horak, and in this video I'm going to take a look at the 2025 Kentucky Derby Future Wager that is taking place at Churchill Downs from November 28th, 2024 through Sunday, December 1st. So in this future wager we have 38 individual interests, plus the other interests are all other 3-year-old fillies and all other 3-year-old males. So I will go through, I'll talk about some of the horses that seem interesting on this list, and then at the end of the video, I'll update the odds, because right now it is Friday, November 29th, so this pool is open. People have been making wagers, and we'll see which horses are taking money and which horses have drifted up off of their morning lines. Now, if you're interested in checking out my Kentucky Derby 2025 points race video series, every time they run a points race, I'll cover that on my YouTube channel, just like I do each year. And through the first 6 points races this year, my top choices have 4 wins and a runner-up finish, and I just did a video for the Grade 2 Kentucky Jockey Club Stakes at Churchill Downs that will be run on Saturday, November 30th. So you can watch that video if you're interested. Now we'll go through and talk about some of the interesting horses on this list, beginning with number 2, Barnes, 25-1 on the line in this future wager for trainer Bob Baffert. This is a son of Into Mischief. They paid $3.2 million for this one, and the dam sire here is American Pharoah, Triple Crown winner. So for Barnes, he made his debut earlier this week at Churchill Downs. He was the heavy favorite. He had an inner post, and he was bottled up on the inside behind the speed, and he was able to get clear in the stretch, and he drifted out. He was racing greenly, but he was able to get the job done. That was a sprint distance. It sure looks like this horse wants to go on and run longer distances. He has a lot of promise, and I would expect that he's one that's definitely going to be taking money. And as I said, keep going to the end of this video. We'll talk about the odds, the updated odds for this future wager. Number 3, Bullard at 30-1 is interesting for trainer Michael McCarthy. Now, Michael McCarthy has 2 horses that seem interesting, and this is one of them, and I'll talk about the other one in a few minutes. And this horse is 2 for 2 in sprint races. Won his debut rallying from last, so he went last to first in a 7-horse field. The runner-up there, the clear runner-up, was the next out winner, and Bullard was the next out winner in the Grade 3 Bob Hope. When in a 5-horse field, he got a lot of pace help, and he rallied to win that one by more than 4 lengths. Umberto Rispoli rode both times. This is a son of Gun Runner, and for Bullard, very promising start to his career. They paid $675,000 for him, and we'll have to see how he develops and if he can handle 2 turns in the future. Chancer McPatrick, he's 10-1. For trainer Chad Brown. This is a son of McKinsey, $725,000 purchase, and he rallied from off the pace to win his first 3 starts, including the Grade 1 Hopeful and Grade 1 Champagne Stakes. Flavien Prat was his rider for all 4 starts, and his 4th start was the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, and he just didn't run a great race that day. He was wide, post 10, speed held there. Citizen Bull and Gaming were 1-2 for Bob Baffert. They were both up on the pace. Citizen Bull wired the field. Chancellor McPatrick didn't have much of a chance that day. So he's one that he's 3 for 3 around 1 turn, and then we didn't learn a lot in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. We'll learn more next year. Now, Citizen Bull, number 6 at 20-1. He could be your 2-year-old champion for trainer Bob Baffert, a son of Into Mischief, $675,000 purchase. Distorted Humor, the dam sire, won his debut at 5.5 furlongs at Del Mar, pressing the pace. He was 3rd in the Del Mar Futurity second time out. His stablemate Gaming won that race, and then Citizen Bull came back and stretched out in distance, controlled the pace, and won the Grade 1 American Pharoah. He did the same thing in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. Martin Garcia was aboard for all 3 wins, and he was able to put him on the lead in back-to-back Grade 1 wins at 1 1/16, and he controlled the pace both times. So Citizen Bull, good pedigree, good start to his career. We'll see how he develops from age 2 to 3. Some other ones, East Avenue. Now, East Avenue for trainer Brendan Walsh at 10-1. At 10-1 would be too low to play. But this one's a son of Medaglia d'Oro, Ghost Sapper, the dam sire. He's one that was outstanding in his debut at Ellis Park at 6 furlongs. He dominated that race on the front end. He dominated the Grade 1 Breeders' Futurity when he stretched out in distance second time out. Never easy to go 6 furlongs right into a Grade 1 race second time out, but he did just that. He dominated that race. He came into the Breeders' Cup Juvenile as the favorite. I made him my top choice. He was my top choice in the Breeders' Futurity. And in that Breeders' Cup Juvenile, unfortunately for him, he stumbled badly from the inside post, and the race flow in his race was really over there because the race flow definitely favored the forwardly placed runners. He figured to be the one to catch, but after that start, lost all chance. So he's one that's going to regroup, probably winter at the fairgrounds, and we'll see what East Avenue can do as a 3-year-old. Ferocious, they paid $1.3 million for him, and he was really good in his first two starts, sprint races, winning his debut by 7, missing to Chancer McPatrick in the Grade 1 Hopeful by a half length, and then in his third start in the Grade 1 Breeders' Futurity, he was second behind East Avenue, clearly second best. Breeders' Cup Juvenile, he split a 10-horse field. So for him, he's been better around one turn so far, and he's 25-1 in this wager. Now, Filoso as a 99-1 shot. Let's see what he does next time, because he was in the Grade 1 Breeders' Futurity, and he finished third there, and he's running in the Kentucky Jockey Club Stakes on Saturday, November 30th. So if he runs well, his odds would go down. If he doesn't, his odds will even be higher. 25-1 for Gaming, number 13 for Bob Baffert. This one's interesting. I've always liked this one. He was my top choice in his second career start after he dominated his debut at 6.5 furlongs, going wire to wire at Del Mar. I made him my top choice in the Grade 1 Del Mar Futurity, and he stalked the pace and he won that one nicely. They stretched him out in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile for the first time, coming off of a little bit of a layoff, and he ended up finishing a clear second, chasing his stablemate Citizen Bull. $250,000 son of a game winner, Johannesburg the Dam Sire. Gaming has a lot of potential heading into next year. Some others in here that we can consider. Hill Road was third in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. He's 99-1. He was coming in from Europe. Not sure what he's going to end up doing, what they're going to decide to do with him if he comes back for the Kentucky Derby or not. We'll see what they decide. Jonathan's Way, number 19 at 20-1. He won his first two starts, including the Iroquois Stakes, the first Kentucky Derby points race, is my top choice. He disappointed in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, and he's going to be running in the Kentucky Jockey Club Stakes on Saturday, November 30th at Churchill. So at 20-1 right now, but if he runs well in that Kentucky Jockey Club Stakes, he's interesting. Journalism for trainer Michael McCarthy. He's the second Michael McCarthy trainee. And $825,000 purchase, a son of Curlin, Uncle Mo the Dam Sire, liked the pedigree here, liked the progress from his first to second start. And the other good thing was his 6-furlong debut was just too short for him, and he rallied to finish third. Second time out, when they stretched him out to a mile, he finished full of run, sitting in mid-pack in a 10-horse field and winning, going away with a nice late pace rating. So Journalism with a good pedigree, they paid a lot for him, and he's one that should continue to develop. Keewaydin for trainer Chad Brown, a 50-1 horse here, and he was missing by a neck in his debut, 6 furlongs, and then 7 furlongs second time out, and he won nicely. So he was 20 cents on the dollar last time. We'll see if he can handle 2 turns. He's a son of Instagram and Officer the Dam Sire. His pedigree does not scream long distances. And some others worth considering in here. Render Judgment, number 27 at 80-1. He's another one that's running in the Kentucky Jockey Club Stakes. Romanesque for Bob Baffert. He's number 28 at 40-1, and he won his debut from the inside post. Never easy to win the debut from the inside post for these 2-year-olds. But in that 6.5 furlong race at Del Mar on November 23rd, he was able to outmaneuver his stablemate Rodriguez, and those two dominated because Romanesque won by 2 1/4, and Rodriguez was 9.5 lengths in front of the rest of the field. So this is the son of Practical Joke, Alphabet Soup the Dam Sire. They paid $435,000 for this one. So Baffert seems to be loaded with multiple horses on this list. Sovereignty, number 31. He's one I definitely like. He's 20-1 morning line for Bill Mott. Into Mischief is the Sire, Bernardini the Dam Sire. Classy pedigree here. And I like the progression and the distance progression from 6 furlongs when he just ran out of ground from post 10, finishing 4th in his debut. Tip Top Thomas and Keewaydin were 1st and 3rd that day, so that was a productive race. This horse came out of that race to miss by a neck in a 1-turn mile at Aqueduct. And then I made him my top choice in the Grade 3 Street Scent Stakes, and they made him the favorite. He had the outside post, and he rallied from last to first to win by 5 lengths. So Bill Mott seems to have a very promising horse in his barn. Tip Top Thomas for Todd Pletcher. Pletcher doesn't have many in here. And for this one, won his debut by a head, and then he was second in the Champagne Stakes behind Chancellor McPatrick, and he was clearly second best, second time out. So this one has a lot of potential. Another one that doesn't have such a long distance pedigree either. Tiztastic, number 34. He's another one that's in the Kentucky Jockey Club Stakes. We'll have to see what he ends up doing. And then we have the all other 3-year-old fillies, number 39. They're listed at 50 to 1. And then the all other 3-year-old males, 4 to 5. So that's the way the wager looks. Now we'll look at the updated odds and some of the horses that we mentioned. Now Barnes for Bob Baffert, as I said, he was number 2 in this future wager, 25 to 1 morning line. He's 11 to 1. So I wouldn't want to play him at those 11 to 1 odds, but he is a promising horse that could make some noise on the road to the Derby. Now Chancellor McPatrick, he's gone from 10 to 1 morning line to 20 to 1 right now. So that's a little bit interesting. He's already a grade 1 winner. He's had those 2 grade 1 wins in New York around 1 turn, and we'll see if he can develop into a 2-turn horse for trainer Chad Brown next year. Now East Avenue is another one, and one that's interesting because he was 10 to 1 on the line. Now he's 22 to 1. You guys got to kind of draw a line through his Breeders' Cup Juvenile. He was so impressive in his first 2 starts. He lost all chance at the start in that race, and I can see East Avenue for trainer Brendan Walsh maybe being a decent 3-year-old for Godolphin. Ferocious at 42 to 1, and he was 25 to 1 morning line. I mentioned him as one that seemed to be better in sprint races this year, but it's still too early to tell. We'll see if they'll probably give him more chances around 2 turns. Filoso, he's staying at that 99 to 1. I said he's running in that Kentucky Jockey Club Stakes. Gaming, he's gone up a little bit from his morning line from 25 to 1 to 27, and he's very promising for Bob Baffert. This is a horse I like, and I think he will continue to develop. We'll have to see ultimately how far he's really going to want to run. Hill Road, I mentioned that he was 99 to 1. He was 3rd in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. He's 61 to 1 on the line. Jonathan's Way, he's 48 to 1, but I would expect that that would drop if he does well and wins that Kentucky Jockey Club Stakes. Journalism is definitely an interesting play right now. He's one that's 64 to 1 at this point for trainer Michael McCarthy. I mentioned he has that good pedigree, and he looked really good second time out, stretching out in distance, earning a decent enough speed rating. And those are the horses right now. And I'll mention a couple others. Romanesque for Bob Baffert, 78 to 1. He's 1 for 1 just off of that sprint race. He looked good in that race. Sovereignty, 25 to 1, up from that 20 to 1 morning line. Sovereignty is one that nice pedigree there. I like that. And then we'll look at the all other 3-year-old fillies. They're 99 to 1. All other 3-year-old males, 3 to 2, up from that 4 to 5 morning line. So those are some of the horses and their odds in this future wager. As I said, Barnes right now, he actually clicked up to 12 to 1 now. I think that's still much too low, way too early. You want to play, if you're going to play that, play some horses that are much higher odds at this point. Citizen Bull, your Breeders' Cup Juvenile winner, likely 2-year-old champion. He's 12 to 1, probably too low. East Avenue at 23 to 1, a little bit interesting because he was 10 to 1, one of the favorites. And coming off of that Breeders' Cup Juvenile, so if you can just draw a line through that, he's definitely interesting. Gaming at 27 to 1, not too bad. But the one that really seems interesting, just based on his impressive visual victory, Journalism at 64 to 1. So I would be interested in maybe making a small wager on him so early. We're not really sure how these horses are all going to pan out. But this is a fun wager to play early on the road to the 2025 Kentucky Derby. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment if you like this horse racing content. Keep checking my YouTube channel for these horse racing videos, these Kentucky Derby 2025 points race videos. And it'll be fun to look back at this video and see how some of these horses did progress from November of their 2-year-old seasons as we head into the Kentucky Derby trail. We get more serious as we get into 2025. So until I see you next time, good luck at the races.